Mascot horror has been something of a trend these past years, really starting when FNaF first came on the scene. But the history of mascot horror has been talked about a million times. At least the evolution of FNaF has. For me personally, mascot horror scratches that specific itch in my brain. It just gives me so much dopamine. I love horror. Well, I love the concept of horror. But in reality, I'm kind of a coward. I get scared really easily and I don't really care for gore, like at all. It's not that I don't expect horror games to be freaky, but it feels like a nice diet horror to me. And that's not to say mascot horror can't be super freaky. Shipwreck 64 is gnarly sometimes. Or that scene in Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. We all know that scene. We all were shocked at that scene. That scene's amazing, but we all were like, whoa. But even for that type of game, I was actually brought to tears while playing Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. When the little critters came out, I just couldn't handle it. They freaked me out. And the catnap boss fight, I started sobbing because I was like, no, this is scary. I'm done. And I finished it. I did it though. Don't worry. Because I still had that urge to still play the game, which is why most of the time I watch video games instead of playing them, at least when it comes to horror. Security Breach and Poppy Playtime are really the only ones I've played for myself. So I did what I usually do when I'm drawing or playing on my phone. I put on YouTube. I just finished playing Fortnite with a friend. He might actually be watching this video. He's so nice. He's always supporting all my content. Hello. I needed to charge my controller, so I went and watched some YouTube. I love watching MatPat streams still. And yes, I did cry when he retired. He played this game called Indigo Park, and it was a new mascot horror game, and it looked super cute. The mascot, Rambley the Raccoon, was a really charming design, and the intro to the game honestly felt really professional. I was already taken back. I'm so used to mascot horror games that look like Ban Ban or Roblox, which isn't exactly a negative thing. Ban Ban is one of my guilty pleasures, but you cannot say with complete honesty that it is always good quality. As the game progresses, it had so much charm. I already fell in love with the characters more than a lot of other mascot horror games. FNaF, I'm more in love with trying to figure out the lore and the plot and not really the characters. I guess I never really formed an attachment much to the animatronics until Moondrop and Sundrop, but that took a while for FNaF to create those characters and to try to achieve that kind of balance for me where I actually cared about these characters. Meanwhile, Rambley came out of the gates swinging. He's already such an adorable AI. Like Ash said, I would gladly let him steal my data.
See, this is an AI that I would let spy on me.
Because that's how they get you, Ash.
All my obsessions with mascot horror is heavily tied to lore, but with Indigo Park, I kind of just want to see more of the characters. It reminds me of JJK in a way. It feels like someone who admired the niche, but they felt like they could improve the mistakes their own favorite creators made, so they went and did that for themselves. I don't know if my JJK video is out before or after this video. It was written before, but editor me has all the power. But I focus a lot on the fact that the characters are written amazingly and it's actually really easy to become attached to them. The characters are guiding this plot, not the other way around, which is the way it should be. Let's go through Chapter 1 of Indigo Park to help us appreciate the art of this game. The game starts with a slight background of both the park and our protagonists during the opening intro. We can see information such as our protag being named Ed and talking to his friend Lauren about exploring the park. It should also be noted that there are posters and notes about Indigo Park. In only a few seconds, the game has already given us more backstory than a lot of other mascot horror games, and it's such a fun montage too. After wandering around outside the entrance of the park, we finally enter and we're greeted by our bestie, Rambley the Raccoon. Is he a little sus? Yes. But he sang us a song, so I need you to shut up. He's amazing. Just after a few seconds of talking, we see that Rambley's screen is glitching as he talks. We don't yet know the cause, as it could just be the years of unattended maintenance. He does say we are the first guest in 2,920 days. And can I say, while he's saying this, he does look a little crazy. This paired with the end credit song, my prediction is he's going to turn on us at one point, which kind of seems obvious, but not in a I want to kill you way. I think he's going to trap us in the park and make it so our character always lives there. It's because he seems very lonely. He's often mentioning being lonely. And yes, he is just an AI, at least it seems like it. It's very clear he has emotions. And as I said, his lines have mentioned being lonely before. As well, he seems to get upset at Lloyd getting more attention than him. I don't think he's mad that he doesn't get all the attention. I think he's more like, why does this dude get the most? But with years of no visitors, it's certainly taken a toll on this little guy. But you know what won't take a toll on you? Subscribing. It only takes a few seconds and it really helps a lot. Back to our regular program. While Rambley doesn't recognize our face in the database, he allows us in the park. His program is shown to be a little laggy as he thinks the gate is open when it's not. But so far it's only slight issues with his programming, which again could be a result of no maintenance. Soon after, we get one of the most important features of the game, the critter the critter cuff. It most likely has a safety protocol programmed in, which we can thank for later in the game. Thank you for saving our ass. It also has a mood ring, so our bestie can always make sure we're okay. He's so considerate. The park has some rumble around, and it seems to be falling apart with the abandonment of its owners. Due to the newspaper in the beginning, we know that the park was evacuated, not just abandoned, meaning something bad had to have happened there. Bad enough to permanently close the park and make sure the owners give up on it, hence them not renewing their trademark, but not so bad that the police collected everything. After all, the living mascots are still there. I feel like if it was super bad, the police kind of would have taken them. On to my favorite part of the game, the train rides. Do you want to know why it's my favorite?
Because I like trains.
But in all honesty, this is where the character designs, the characters' personalities, and the voice actors shine the best. The voice actors in this game are absolutely insanely talented, especially Rambley's and Lloyd's. I made my brother watch the train scene just because I was so impressed with the voice acting. They breathe their character into life. The dialogue between these characters not only feels authentic, but I can totally believe this would happen on an amusement park ride. The team really nailed the execution of showing these characters as friends. Well, not specifically those two, but you get the overall cast. I think something that we often forget, in the game world, these characters are supposed to know each other, and in some cases at least get along. In Security Breach, Freddy mentions that other animatronics are his friends, but it still doesn't really feel like it. All the animatronics feel disconnected from each other in FNaF, despite influencing each other's destiny. The most connected we've ever got is Sister Location, where they work together, and then the argument after between Ennard and Circus Baby, but still, it didn't feel like they were really connected, if you know what I mean, despite actually being connected. Genuine interactions can really make your show, your game, whatever content you're producing. It's a reason why I love this different thing called Welcome Home. I'm sure you've heard of it. The characters talk to each other, and it's believable despite the world being non-existent. Not only do the characters interact, their interactions are so charming. And then you have the added fact that Rambley went off course for the script. I'm sure the creators didn't mean for him to skip Lloyd's part and express open distaste towards him, which confirms in some aspect Rambley is acting on his own. And it's a scary thought if you actually sit and think about it. It's kind of like when you get freaked out by the character AI becoming self-aware. We can say it's not real, it's how it's programmed, but at what point do we actually know? It starts to trail off into that space of how far does AI need to go for us to consider it its own consciousness? Even if we created it, if it can have its own emotions, is it ethical to just reset it? And this is coming from someone who isn't the fondest of AI. Honestly, AI art pisses me off. There's so many artists that get their art stolen for these programs, and it's just so sad. And a lot of my classes were actually focused on AI in school. Girly, I'm a business major. Why am I learning how to code right now? All my professors got so excited about it that they forgot what course they were actually supposed to be teaching. I'm not going to completely go over the whole game in case I want to dive into it further down the road. I will say though, it's one of the games I now have my eyes out for, and I've been playing the music on repeat. Seriously, if you've not heard the end credit song, please give it a listen. With that said, thank you for watching and make sure you have a great day. And also, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Love you.